Please join me in welcoming Rajesh Ayapilla, Director, CSR and Sustainability for India and Southeast Asia, the Coca-Cola Company. Hi, Rajesh. How are you doing?
Fine.
Thank you so much for giving time. I think we're speaking to you from across quite a few borders, right? You're speaking from Nepal today.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for taking bit of a time from your busy schedule. So Rajesh, let's just get on with your first question. So let's talk about your sustainability initiative, which is using 100% recycled plastic in your bottles. So how did it start, and what impact is it having on our climate and community? Maybe perhaps if you can detail the broader aspect abroad and also the aspect that the impact that you're having in Bangladesh.
sure, Sharman. So, see, as a large corporate, we recognize that it's our responsibility to kind of like uh, be environmentally friendly. Okay, and we do that across various aspects, and sustainability covers a large part of that area. And we also realize that sustainability is not just a standalone subject, but it is something which is very intrinsic to the business. That is what makes it a sustainable business. So in line with that ambition, in 2018, the Coca-Cola Company announced a program called as World Without Waste. It was a very ambitious program, and it had three pillars basically. The first pillar is called design. So under design, what we our ambition or we tried to do was that we will ensure that 100% of our packaging is actually recyclable. Okay, so that is the design aspect of it. The second pillar is called as collect, where we said that by 2030 we will be collecting a bottle or a can equivalent of every single packaging that we'll put into the market. Growing, looking at the scale of our company, that's a very huge ambition, right? Under the design component, we also said that by 2030, we will be using at least 50% recycled content. And the third pillar is called as partner, where we said that we will bring together a larger coalition. We will reach out to more partners so that the efforts are not individualistic, but they are more at a company level or more at an industry level. Okay. So in line with that, of course, we also need to be compliant with the local laws and regulations in every country. And thankfully, the regulation in Bangladesh allowed recycled content to be used in PET bottles, which is basically food contact material. And with that blessings from the regulators, we were able to launch a 100% rPET bottle, which is 100% recycled content bottle in Bangladesh in 2022. And our ambition is to grow it to a larger number of SKUs so that we are in line with our global ambition.
Fantastic. So fantastic. So if I talk about basically what you just said, that you have a 2030 goal, then I'm guessing you also have a 2050, right? Which aligns kind of with the UN SDG goals as well. So what are your future plans to actually take it to, because 50% is a big number by 2030. 2030 is literally just around the corner. So how do you plan on achieving that? Do you have existing or maybe upcoming plans in place which will kind of trigger sort of that, trigger you achieving that goal right there?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, see, conducive regulation is something which is very essential for us to achieve those ambitions. So we continue to work with industry peers to advocate for government regulations for permitting the use of rPET in food and beverage packaging. In 2021, we set a goal also to reduce our use of virgin plastic derived from non-renewable resources by avoiding almost a cumulative 3 million tons by 2025 compared to 2020. And we continue to pursue this goal, which represents about 20% of our virgin plastic use through more than 150 lightweighting projects. Lightweighting means we actually make our bottles more light through better design and advancements on use of recycled and renewable materials. We will continue to invest in innovation for the small percentage of our packaging that currently has recycling challenges, including juice pouches, opaque packaging currently used for dairy beverages and cartons. And we will invest in new recycling technologies for PET plastic and other packaging materials. We see a significant opportunity to work proactively with global and regional customers, many of which have announced their own sustainable packaging goals that can only be achieved in collaboration with key suppliers. Looking ahead, we'll build on our long-standing relationships to make this collective progress.
Fantastic. So, as so we talked about your RPET recycling system, right? Here we talked about how you're recycling plastic. So, if we move into the broader aspect of sustainability, perhaps how you look at sustainable business. So, what are the projects and priorities that Coca-Cola have centered around sustainability?
See, we try to do sustainability work in areas which are material to our business. Like, for example, water is one of our biggest ingredient, right? So we need to do work on water, and we have been historically doing that work across the globe, which we call as water stewardship. Uh, when I talk about our work in Bangladesh, which builds upon our approach to engage with community members and create value for our diverse set of stakeholders, one component of that is replenish, which is giving back to the environment the amount of water that we have taken to make and manufacture our beverages. Both our bottling partners have installed rooftop rainwater harvesting projects in their plants to give back to the nature more than 100% of the resource we have used. And the total recharge potential of both these bottling partners is close to around 48,000 kiloliters per year. Additionally, our franchise bottler Abdul Monem also took up a pond restoration project, with a recharge potential of close to around 25,000 kiloliters per year. In addition to that, it's also our responsibility to ensure that we reach out to our communities, help them to get access to clean water and wash facilities. So our water stewardship basically goes beyond our bottling plants to communicate to communities and the watersheds we all share. We have done close to around 53,000 engagements in terms of improved sanitation facilities for community people, provided hand wash facilities in 17 schools, covering almost like 7,000 students. So this is ongoing work and we'll continue to do that. In the area of waste management, we had partnered with BRAC with support from funding from our Coca-Cola Foundation in Atlanta and kicked off a pilot project called Bandhan in 2021 to improve the well-being of waste workers in around 13 low-income communities in Dhaka city. Under the same project, more than 3,500 waste workers have been benefited through various initiatives. Last year, we had also initiated two projects similarly targeting waste workers through two other partners, which is SR Asia and CodeAid. In addition to that, we have been historically doing this international coastal cleanup since 2011. And during these 11 years, this initiative has collected close to around 12,000 kilograms of marine debris with the help of more than 4,500 volunteers. Women empowerment also continues to be an important aspect of our sustainability work. We continue to build something called as women business centers. Currently, we have put up almost 70 WBCs in Jamalpur, Khulna, Bagerhat districts, and supported the well-being and economic empowerment of more than 100,000 women and indirectly impacting almost 400,000 people. We
Incredible.
continue
I
to
think
be,
that also won an award last year, the
yeah,
WBC.
yeah, yes. So, looking at the success of this project, we continue to invest into that, and we are planning to put up 30 new WBCs in Sunamganj and Gopalganj districts, supporting again close to around 40,000 women entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. So Rajesh, we're near the end of our session, so I'll just ask one last question, and this question will be kind of based on your own experience. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, Coca-Cola has been working for decades in sustainability, and you come from a large background of dealing with that. So, what more do you think other companies and policymakers in general can do to tackle the upcoming problems of climate change?
Yeah, it's a very wide subject actually. See, if we look at businesses possess the power and capacity to drive actionable outcomes and create a tangible impact. Uh, but it can only be achieved if we also have regulations which are supportive of these activities. For example, addressing climate change requires tailored approach that align with each company's unique business and overall strategy. Regardless of the industry, every company must proactively incorporate initiatives to mitigate climate-related costs and risks throughout its value chain. Business leaders should recognize carbon emissions as a significant expense, both present and future, and companies must assess and minimize their vulnerability to environmental and economical shocks associated with climate change. So, I think overall, government at their end can deploy an array of policy interventions and financial measures to facilitate the transition to clean energy and industrial systems, enhance energy efficiency, address environmental pollution, safeguard and restore natural capital. Moreover, policymakers can also facilitate collaboration between businesses, research institutions, and civil society organizations to exchange knowledge, share best practices, and develop joint initiatives to tackle climate change.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rajesh. And thanks once again for joining us, giving time out of your busy schedule to join in our live program. We learned a lot, and hopefully we'll learn a lot more in the future. So, and thanks again to the Coca-Cola Company for all the work that you do in the world of sustainability.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.